During his many years on YouTube, Penguinz0 aka Charlie has crafted and maintained an extremely positive reputation for himself. But that doesn't mean there weren't a few controversies along the way. After all, controversial situations are on par for the course on YouTube. However, the main difference between Charlie and many other creators is that those who try to expose him often have the tables turned on them in the worst possible ways, sometimes even completely ruining their careers. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today, we'll be looking into the YouTubers that attempted to expose Moist Critical, aka Charlie. Starting with a creator who was almost right about Charlie, but let things get too heated before he could prove his point. On the 7th of February 2022, a well-known GTA speedrunner, Dark Viper AU, shared a 14-page document on Twitter that claimed reactors negatively impacted the online creator ecosystem, reading, "All reactors are bad people. Collectively, they have stolen millions of dollars from actual creators, and have stopped countless thousands from having a career." In the document, he referenced specific channels, like XQC, Hassan, and Moist Critical, as an exploiter class that profited off the labor of other channels, and included several examples of how they draw impressions and views away from smaller creators. While Dark Viper made numerous solid arguments in his video, others would take issue with the aggressive way he conveyed some of his points, with replies reading, "I appreciate what you're saying, but insinuating that anybody who makes your definition of reaction content would actually assault someone if given the chance is quite a large leap in logic," to which Dark Viper replied stating, "People who live their lives exploiting others, their labor or careers in their own lust for money or power are the very sort of people who would abuse someone." It was clear that Dark Viper was deeply dissatisfied with the presence of reaction channels in the online world, and wanted others to see the negative impact he thought they had on smaller creators. However, one of the creators he directly referenced would make their own thoughts on the situation known. By the 9th of February 2022, Charlie would respond to Dark Viper's document with a video titled, "Are React Streamers Bad People?"
Streamer named Dark Viper AU posted a 14-page document all about how evil React content is. Basically, is comparing React content creators to rapists.
Charlie spent the majority of the video countering the document by bringing up Dark Viper's past as a reactor, pointing out that reactions didn't inherently steal impressions from other videos, and stating that they could even have a positive impact on a given channel.
However, off the top of my head, I can think of multiple examples in times where React content has genuinely helped smaller creators, like blow up their channel. My channel, I'm the perfect example of it. My channel literally got kickstarted because of Ray William Johnson reacting to my QWOP video in 2010. I can truly understand when somebody doesn't like when someone reacts to their content. I get it. It's not like I'm fucking delusional, I understand it.
However, Charlie also acknowledged the shortcomings in his own reaction videos and streams.
I understand the stigma around React content, and I've always understood it. When I react to something, I'm constantly trying to either pause it and add something to it or interject comedy into it. I treat React content like Mystery Science Theater. Now, of course, not every time is going to be a hit, which is why you'll find plenty of videos where I'm reacting to something like the downfall of Quibi, which comes from a great channel that I really like to watch, and I just got too engrossed in their storytelling and the way they presented it that I didn't add anything to it. So I ended up just kind of watching it with my community.
From Charlie's perspective, the discussion around the impact of reaction content wasn't black and white, with several nuances that applied in different situations. Unfortunately, Dark Viper AU didn't want to see things that way, as his response video sparked a back and forth between the two creators. Dark Viper would claim that Charlie was misrepresenting his arguments, and that he did not add enough transformative content in his reactions.
I don't know what he's responding to here, but I did write a 14-page script explaining why I don't like reactors and I think they're bad people. Whatever he's looking at here isn't that, because basically nothing of what he talks about in this video do I talk about in that script. Anyone who watched it would understand all the things that Charlie didn't understand when he might have read the script, I'm not 100% sure.
Even going as far to claim that Charlie was trying to use his large audience and reach to reframe the argument in his favor.
Moist Critical knows that his video is going to reach far more people than will ever actually read that document. He also knows that my video, refuting him, will also reach one fraction of a percent of people who watch his video. This is the power that large content creators have to shape a narrative, regardless of how false.
While Dark Viper missed the mark when he claimed Charlie was intentionally weaponizing his large platform, he was correct about his points being misrepresented.
I took a bit of an L+ ratio here. There's a lot of things that I got wrong, but of course I get things wrong. Everybody does, and I'm not afraid to admit it or die on a hill that is just outright incorrect. And Dark Viper points out things that I got wrong, for sure. Dark Viper is a creator that I liked and respected. What the fuck would I gain from misrepresenting him, someone that I actively like? It'd make no fucking sense.
In addition to acknowledging his mistakes when handling the situation, Charlie would make some alterations to the reaction content that he creates.
Which is why with this newfound understanding of this perspective, I will no longer be watching full YouTube videos on stream. I'd rather watch it, see if it's something I have anything to add to, and then turn it into perhaps a full video response, which is my normal content.
While there were many things they disagreed on, Charlie and Dark Viper would eventually settle the beef with a 2-hour-long debate, and later a private conversation that gave them the opportunity to see eye to eye on the issue, with Dark Viper clarifying that the document was about reactors doing bad things, not inherently being bad people. By the 25th of February 2022, the pair would bury the hatchet and collaborate on a GTA 5 guessing video.
Hello and welcome to another episode of GTA Guesser Versus with my special guest, Moist Critical.
Hey, I'm hoping I don't embarrass myself too badly. I was practicing for the last hour and a half, so I'm at least feeling kinda confident.
However, the outcome of their discourse would cascade in 2023, as Charlie would announce a change in his content strategy that prioritizes creative fulfillment over ad revenue.
No matter what I say in this video here, there's tons of people that have already made their minds up about me and my motivations behind content. A lot of people believe that it's truly money driven, and an example they use is React content. Now, for a couple of years, I did React content. That content, React content, is the most lucrative, most low-effort content you can ever make. I stopped doing React streams and React content about a year ago now, but no matter what, I've always got the Orochimaru curse mark on my body where I'm labeled a React streamer.
Charlie also explained why he created React content in the first place.
Now, a lot of people say the reason I ever did React content in the first place was because of the money. I only ever reacted to videos because it was fun to make jokes with the community about it and just kind of get silly with the content together.
As well as why he would no longer be making that style of content.
It came at a cost to the creators, which I'd never wanted to do, and I never realized it did. So after watching plenty of videos from like Dark Viper as well as other content creators that have covered React content for a long time, I learned that it is not a good practice to engage in, so I stopped doing it entirely.
With the exception of news broadcasts and the occasional game trailer, Charlie no longer had interest in React content, as he'd see just how detrimental it was to the YouTube community.
I know there's plenty of fringe cases you can point to where someone whose content gets reacted to blows up, but that's still not the norm, and it's also still not really an acceptable fair transaction where you just kind of have to cross your fingers and pray that the person who reacts to your video somehow has an audience that will also translate to you. Like, that doesn't happen very often.
While Dark Viper's encounter with Charlie ended up being a positive one, the same couldn't be said for Synthetic Man, a YouTuber who decided it would be a good idea to go after Charlie's private life. On the 19th of April 2024, during an episode of the official podcast, Charlie made an offhanded comment about Synthetic Man's coverage of the new Fallout series and joked about his extreme takes.
There's only one guy that's sticking to his guns about the show is just woke propaganda, it's garbage, and it's the classic Synthetic Man. And I decided to watch what he said about Fallout because I was curious. And one of the first things he mentions is propaganda about race mixing.
You'd think that a joke like that would be met with a similarly jovial response, but that was far from how Synthetic Man reacted. By the 21st of April 2024, a viewer would inform Synthetic Man of Charlie's comment, and he would respond in the worst way imaginable.
Critical called me out? You gotta be fucking kidding me. This is the biggest fucking shill campaign ever of all time. Like, Amazon's gotta be paying these fucks.
Synthetic Man would go on to search for something to use against Charlie and call him a woke sellout along with a slew of other insults when he didn't find what he was looking for.
Talking about old reviews. People say I clickbait. This is like way worse than shit I do. Yeah, this is a 26-minute clip of him rambling about fucking movie reviews. And he says, I'm ashamed of my past self. Critical is the biggest sellout on this fucking platform. His word is worth nothing.
As extreme as his statements were, Synthetic Man wouldn't stop at just insulting Charlie, and decided to bring his personal life into it.
Greed ruined these YouTubers one day ago. Coming from him. You fucking scum. I'm glad this manlet got cheated on. His girlfriend got tired of his tiny penis and left him.
By this point, Synthetic Man hadn't even watched the clip of Charlie talking about him, but he was already throwing around harsh comments with zero justification. But when he did watch the clip, Synthetic Man's behavior only got more aggressive.
On here. This is probably like 20 million subscribers are shitting on a guy with 130,000. This is fucking pathetic that they feel the need to shit talk my video. I mean, we all knew how fucked like Critical became. He's the biggest sellout, legitimately like the biggest sellout on this platform.
Synthetic Man felt it was necessary to attack Charlie because he was sharing an opinion he didn't agree with. But unbeknownst to Synthetic Man, the entire internet would take notice and give a far more critical opinion of his content. In the weeks that followed, Synthetic Man's video on the Fallout series would receive over 17,000 dislikes and a comment section that was equally as negative, with comments reading, "Some people really say shit like this and swear they aren't racist. Do you stay in your basement out of fear of minorities or sunlight?" As well as, "My guy really can't fathom the fact that people organically disagree with him." Viewers wouldn't be the only ones who criticized Synthetic Man for his immature antics, as his story made rounds in the commentary space as well.
You can't be out here criticizing everything, and the second someone doesn't agree with you, you start freaking out. You start throwing a fit because, oh my god, Amazon definitely paid Charlie $100 billion to disagree with me and talk about me on his podcast.
Being unable to handle criticism was something Synthetic Man shared with Sneeko, another YouTuber who tried and failed to expose Charlie. The only difference between them was that Synthetic Man got to avoid Charlie's direct wrath, and Sneeko didn't. Before his channel's termination, Sneeko's career on YouTube saw him create several thought-provoking documentaries and engage in interesting street interviews with random strangers. While Sneeko would receive a ban that forced him to move to other video sharing platforms, he still kept tabs on what was happening on YouTube. So when Charlie made fun of his friends Fresh and Fit for posing as alpha males, Sneeko couldn't help but respond.
This is his girl. So there you go. I mean, I told you, like, I could hear it in your voice. The fact that someone doesn't have to abide by those rules, someone could go and f*** a lot of bitches, that it's so foreign to a lot of people's ideas, because when you get brainwashed, when you get told that monogamy is the answer and you need to go and be married and just settle down with some girl, when you hear other people talking about stories like this, you're like, there's no way it's true, you're a virgin!
That statement would end up doing more damage to Sneeko's career than he could have ever imagined, as Charlie didn't hold back with his response.
What the fuck are you even talking about? What does this have to do with anything? What does bringing up a picture of me and my girlfriend have anything to do with anything that has happened? And where is monogamy even coming from? Like, none of this had anything to do with the video itself of me joking about a stupid fucking story that this guy told.
From criticizing Sneeko for his defense of the Netflix movie Cuties, to bringing up his shameful cuck past, Charlie was pulling out all of the stops to put Sneeko in his place. For now, Charlie's response video resulted in the entire internet clowning on Sneeko for being a soy boy cuck. However, Sneeko wasn't going to take this lying down, as he escalated the feud to the point of threatening actual violence.
The day after I posted my response, he went on stream and had a huge unhinged tantrum and meltdown about the whole thing, and then he sent some of his viewers over. So I was joking with them, saying like, oh, you guys must have just stopped the Cuties watch party over there at Sneeko's stream, right? Welcome, cucks, that kind of shit. So he started dancing around with the gun and threatening to come shoot me.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips.
To which Charlie would embarrass him even further with this lesson on gun anatomy.
You absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
Once again, Charlie had bruised Sneeko's overinflated ego, but that didn't stop him from claiming that he would confront Charlie directly if they ever met in person.
So let me ask you, if you saw him walking down the street, what are you doing?
I would walk up to him and I would say the same stuff that you said in your videos. I would look him dead in the eye and say all that stuff you said in your videos, say it to my face right now. Does anyone in the chat think that he would say any of this face-to-face, one-on-one? If I'm looking at Moist Critical, who looks like a fentanyl homeless dude, who looks like he stands at a playground looking at, bro, he looks like he's homeless.
Sneeko tried to defend himself by attacking Charlie's image by claiming he was promoting the Antichrist.
That dude actively still does that. He just dropped a music video of upside down crosses, promoting Antichrist with dildos throwing at each other's face, promoting drugs, promoting all the degeneracy. This shit's disgusting. Everybody, all these soy boys, continue to talk about my past and not talk about the present.
And calling him a PDF file.
Who looks more like a pedophile? Who would you rather not bring around your children? That dude with the beard and the fentanyl hair looking like he sleeps under a bridge, or me? Who looks like a pedophile?
Unfortunately for Sneeko, it wouldn't take more than one comment from Charlie to dismantle his entire argument.
All that guy does is have these fucking tantrums and repeat the same 4 things over and over and over and over and over again. That would be the biggest headache in the world. I've listened to everything he's said recently. It's the same thing every single time.
As you'd expect, Sneeko would again attempt to resort to violence to settle the feud with a tweet that read, "Lubro duck the fight and debate lol. Commentary channels fence it so they never get cancelled and rely on drama for AdSense dollars." Ironically, Sneeko was the only one making himself more of a laughingstock by sharing these DMs, as Charlie was already mocking him by stating, "Hey man, can you please calm down with these meltdowns for like another week? I'm doing another merch drop and would love to use you for those." By now, Sneeko had already lost what little respect and credibility he had in the online community, but that didn't prevent him from making one last-ditch effort to salvage his reputation. On the 30th of March 2023, Sneeko uploaded a video to Rumble titled, "I love the new Sneeko," which was meant to highlight the positive changes in his career and try to fixate on the negative side of Charlie's.
What does Moist Critical stand for? What does he believe in? Do you know? I don't. I've watched him for years. I cannot tell you what he believes. How have you reached a point on the internet where you could have 10 million subscribers as a commentary channel and have no basis of commentary?
Fortunately, Wood concede on some of his wrongdoings and put an end to the feud by apologizing to Charlie.
I'm officially retiring the soy boy image. I forgive everybody who advocated for my cancellation or made documentaries about me, and I'm ditching my attacking style of streaming. And I apologize to Moist Critical for showing a picture on stream of you and your girlfriend. That was not very Christ-like. I'm sorry.
Sneeko recognizing his mistakes and moving past them was the best thing he could have done for his career. Sadly, not everyone can do that, as creators like Penguinz0 couldn't fathom that they were in the wrong. Penguinz0, aka Richard Burgers, is a creator who built his brand on 2 things, being a vegan and hating anyone who wasn't. From making proactive videos about enjoying the suffering of meat eaters,
I don't see why I shouldn't make a joke about his suffering and death. So who would like a "haha, you're gonna die of cancer" t-shirt?
to almost uploading a video of his grandfather having a heart attack.
I was planning on showing you guys footage of my grandfather actually having the heart attack. As soon as the paramedics got to the house, I took out my camera and started filming. But a bunch of people in my family, my mom, my grandmother, uncles, like that, they threw a big fucking fit about me showing that footage on YouTube.
Penguinz0 is channel around antagonizing anyone who wasn't a vegan in an almost sociopathic manner. Unfortunately for Penguinz0, that style of content didn't sit well with YouTube's TOS, which resulted in a brief termination of his channel. After getting his channel reinstated, Penguinz0 would seek out other ways of garnering views, and by the 27th of March 2020, he'd find exactly what he was looking for in one of Charlie's uploads. The video in question was titled, "YouTuber Tortures and Eats Animals Alive," and saw Charlie criticizing a mukbang YouTuber for the horrific treatment of animals.
It is absolutely baffling to me. Eating an octopus alive is like eating a f***ing dog alive. They're on the same level. She's basically just eating a sea-tied dog. It's f***ing crazy how this is even allowed and how she has an audience that supports it and defends her in the comment section. She has f***ing simps defending her in the comment section. Have some f***ing shame. Even if you set aside morals and ethics, the content itself is f***ing atrocious. All she does when she's not torturing and eating animals alive is scream, "Ah! Oh! Ah! Ah! Ah!" As, you know, you have goofy cartoon music blasting behind her.
Penguinz0 tried using this video alongside another titled, "I tried making sausages and it ended up a disaster," as justification to call Charlie an arch hypocrite, claiming he was no different from the previous mentioned mukbang YouTuber.
So who are you to criticize so young for not killing these animals quickly and humanely when you can't even do that yourself? So you're just a complete hypocrite, and if anything, what you're doing is arguably worse.
Naturally, Penguinz0 received serious backlash for his extreme leap in logic, with the video garnering over 30,000 dislikes. Not long after, Charlie would upload a response to the accusations and explain how Penguinz0 was giving veganism a bad reputation.
I want to lead this conversation by saying I have nothing but respect for veganism as a whole, but it's people like Penguinz0 who are overly aggressive and the feral monsters in his comment section that really give vegans a bad rap and a negative reputation in the world. They vilify anyone who's not a vegan. They treat it like a cult where you're a huge piece of shit, evil and wrong if you're not in their club. Now, of course, I'm not talking about everyone who is a vegan. I am talking about this community that Penguinz0 has fostered here and he himself. This is the worst way of ever getting anyone to convert to that belief. By constantly antagonizing them and throwing insults to anyone that is not already a vegan ensures that they will never take it seriously and always have a negative impression of your beliefs.
In addition to this, Charlie would affirm his belief that meat alternatives are the future, but state that people like Penguinz0 would only serve to push people away from that with his extreme ideals. When it comes to Penguinz0's accusations of Charlie inhumanely killing animals, he had this to say.
This is a point I see brought up throughout all of veganism, that no matter how an animal is killed, no matter how humane it's deemed, it is inherently evil and wrong. But I have to ask, then does that make every animal in the animal kingdom inherently evil? Because the vast majority of animals out there eat other animals to survive, and they don't do it quickly. So does that make every animal in the animal kingdom that eats other animals inherently evil, or is that trait specific to humans alone? And if so, why?
Unable to understand Charlie's logic, or simply wanting to continue stirring up drama, Penguinz0 would upload a poorly thought out response accusing Charlie's audience of being toxic.
I find this extremely hypocritical for him to call me and my community toxic when his community is incredibly toxic. I just did a live stream a few hours ago, and because Charlie did this response video around the same time I started my live stream, a lot of his followers came over to my live stream, and what did they do? They called me names, they were spamming the chat with, "Oh, meat tastes great."
Penguinz0 not only refused to address the points Charlie made in his response, but he also affirmed that said points were completely irrelevant.
So not only are you just making ridiculous personal attacks and poisoning the well, but this is just completely hypocritical.
Similar to his previous video about Charlie, the video was dislike bombed, with several viewers calling him out for being disingenuous in the comment section, reading, "I like how he's saying Charlie is twisting his words by twisting Charlie's words, lol." It was clear to viewers that Penguinz0 didn't care about having a healthy dialogue, and instead wanted to drum up as much controversy as possible to save his dying channel. Sadly, the controversy he would create would only degrade his career even further, with the final nail in the coffin coming in the form of another response video from Charlie.
I did open that video up for a dialogue. I thought that's what the goal was, but Penguinz0 has made it clear he doesn't give a fuck about a conversation, he only cares about milking the attention. So right after I posted my video, he went live on YouTube where he watched my 10-minute video for about an hour and a half. I want to say right away, I don't condone people going to harass anyone I make videos about. I hate that behavior. I will never encourage that shit. So the people that went there just to make fun of him or anything like that, you never ever have my encouragement or my blessing to do so. I think that shit sucks. But that did happen. He spent an hour and a half watching a 10-minute video because he'd stop every 2 words to screech and scream one of 3 things, one of only 3 phrases he seems to know: straw man, ad hominem, and poisoning the well.
From pointing out how Penguinz0 only cared about attacking meat eaters to showcasing the obvious flaws in his arguments, Charlie spent the rest of the video relentlessly destroying the vegan influencer's perceived moral high ground.
I feel like the content you make isn't geared towards getting people over to your side and seeing these great things veganism has to offer. It's more geared towards just getting high fives of approval, like, yes, you f***ing owned that meat eater. And I just don't see why you wouldn't try and take the route of, here's what good things veganism has and you might be interested in. Hey, I see you were talking about animal abuse, you clearly care, here's some interesting things, which you did kind of touch on, but then still wanted to get those little, ass pats from your community in the comment section of, yeah, you f***ing owned him.
Charlie would also observe that Penguinz0 was more motivated by financial gain rather than furthering the vegan movement.
And I really do get the impression that it's just for the sake of milking a controversy because you made so much money during that live stream off it. And I think that's the worst part of it. Like I said, I had full intentions of having a conversation with you. You really didn't give me a chance because you had already posted a video by the time I even saw it. Before I even had a chance to reach out to you, you had clearly made up your mind that, yeah, I want to continue this. And now I just don't see why I would go on to debate you or bring you on the podcast to talk about it when it does seem your intention is just to grow from the controversy. You're getting a lot more views from this controversy, and like I said, you made a lot of money during that live stream.
You'd think after being exposed for trying to profit off baseless accusations that Penguinz would take the hint and stop attacking Charlie, but you'd be wrong.
Charlie is trying to make it seem as though, oh, he just didn't have a chance to respond to my debate challenge. When that's a complete lie. You had plenty of time after I live streamed or even during my live stream, and you had plenty of time after you finished work, after you were live streaming. So at any time, you could have just, responded to me, messaged me on Twitter, and accepted my debate challenge, but you didn't because you know you're terrified of debating me and you're looking for whatever excuse you can to weasel out of it. And now you've made this stupid excuse that, oh, well, you're just looking for, like, attention and money. That's the only reason you're doing this. Really, Charlie, you're acting as if that I'm benefiting off of this more than you are?
Penguinz was shamelessly trying to bait out a response from Charlie that would ultimately never come. What he did receive was another massively disliked video and a comment section that made fun of him, with comments reading, Penguinz, you are wrong because I don't believe that. I'm dead lol. Holy shit, I finally found a delusional enough person to use for my studies. As well as, WTF is this man's moral beliefs? He has contradicted himself like 10 times in 39 minutes. Penguinz' attempt to profit off drama with Charlie only caused damage to the overall performance of his channel, as his sub count would not only stagnate, but slowly decline over time. However, Penguinz wouldn't be the only one to suffer immensely after trying to milk controversy with Charlie, as Nikocado Avocado did the same thing and failed spectacularly. Nikocado Avocado is a man who needs no introduction. He's made a name for himself by sharing his over-the-top personality through some of the most extreme mukbang videos on YouTube. However, this brand of content isn't without its negative side effects, as Nikocado has suffered various health complications over the years. Consequently, many creators have shared their concerns over Nikocado's overindulgent eating, with Charlie being one of the more vocal ones.
It's someone that I'm sure you've heard of. I've talked about him before. A lot of people have. He's been a big name on YouTube for a while. His name's Nikocado Avocado. If you're on Twitter, you've probably seen his asshole floating around pretty often. For some reason, it was a big trend in meme to just post Nikocado Avocado's OnlyFans content all over Twitter. So I've seen his butthole more times than I've seen him doing his mukbangs. For those that don't know, Nikocado Avocado is a mukbang YouTuber. It's primarily what he does. Mukbangs are when you just eat on camera. And that's about it.
Charlie would go on to show viewers how much damage Nico's recent eating habits were doing to his health.
I wouldn't have become disabled if it weren't for you people who encouraged these videos. This is the $6, this is the $10. Ouch! My ribs! How many months are we gonna have to endure this pain? All right.
Throughout the video, Charlie discussed Nico's slow decline, from having a more suitable weight and mental state, to his current course of throwing away his health for views.
The last 4 years, almost every day, he has done mukbangs like this, where he's eating 6 pizzas, 8 pizzas. He'll get like fucking McDonald's and he'll order everything off the menu and then ask if they can just tilt the grill over to get a little extra grease in a cup for him to drink on camera. It has been an extremely sad thing to see.
While Charlie was trying to give him a somber wake-up call about his health, Nico almost immediately perceived this video as a personal attack and posted a rather aggressive response video.
This person thought it would be cute to sit down on the computer and talk about my weight and my appearances and to fixate on how I look, as if I don't have the right to exist because I happen to be a little overweight, because I happen to have a little water weight, because I happen to be a little fluffy.
Nico would defend his current condition by stating his previous body weight was extremely unhealthy.
Something about me being vegan. Oh, look, he was so skinny. And he showed photos of me when I had just rotted a tooth out of my face, had to get surgery, had such low iron levels that I was anemic, that I had low libido, that I had brain issues.
As well as claiming Charlie was trying to over-exaggerate his situation for views.
On the screen, bigger number, better person. Everyone's so desperate to squeeze as much milk as possible from those beautiful...
Oh, let's look at his thumbnail, shall we? Let's see what he's trying to achieve with my face like this and a title like this. This YouTuber is slowly killing himself for views. So, are you trying to play the high and mighty game all on your pedestal? That you're not trying to squeeze something out of something? Yes, let's sensationalize things about me at my expense. I don't even know who you are.
Looking past Nico's abrasive attitude, he made some genuinely reasonable points, such as his disabilities being the result of prior health conditions, and the fact Charlie didn't tell his viewers not to harass anyone. However, it was obvious Nico didn't want to acknowledge how his current eating habits were eating away at his health, but that didn't stop Charlie from admitting where he went wrong.
But anyway, now to actually talk about the things Nick brings up that I think are very important to talk about. First of all, he talks about the people that went from my video to his to just be assholes. I always openly condemn this, and I should have again said don't go harass him, because it looks like people need a constant fucking reminder to not fucking harass people. You're not some kind of internet vigilante fighting for justice. That angry comment you left on Nick's video isn't going to help him. You're just being a fucking douchebag. And I completely sincerely apologize for overlooking the fact that I need to remind people how to behave online. I always absolutely fucking hate. I've made 2 different videos on how much I hate when people go and harass people, but just from like YouTube videos and shit. It sucks. It fucking sucks. 100%. And Nick is absolutely in the right in calling that out.
With that said, Charlie would also address how Nico possibly misrepresented his points for the sake of boosting engagement.
It's clear immediately that Nick misunderstood what I was saying in my video. I don't know if that's on purpose just for the sake of having like an aggressive response video for YouTube drama, or if he genuinely didn't understand what I was trying to say, but he makes it clear that he didn't get what I was going for.
Despite this, Charlie would provide Nico with some insight on how he could do his mukbang videos more healthily and sustainably.
It doesn't have to do with his weight or his appearance, it has to do with what he's eating on camera and how often he's doing it. Take for example Matt Stoney. Matt Stoney will do these incredible food challenges. He'll eat 20,000, 30, 40,000 calorie meals in a single sitting in under an hour for a YouTube video, and they're fucking awesome. That's nuts to butts action. Matt Stoney eating the fuck out of 20 burritos at a time, double fisting 1,000 tacos per hand. It's incredible stuff, and it's so much food and so many calories, but Matt Stoney does that once every few weeks, once a month maybe. Nikado Avocado is doing something comparable almost every single day.
Something to note was that Charlie understood he got some things wrong when he initially covered Nico's situation, as well as looking past the ways Nico was trying to misrepresent his arguments. But sadly, Nico wasn't ready to have a productive conversation on the matter, and instead opted to make another angry response video mere hours after Charlie's video went live.
Yeah, there's 50,000 comments collectively across 5 of my YouTube channels that I should be that I don't deserve to keep because I don't respect my body. And then you had the nerve to come back a second time and say, well, I never stand for I've made 2 videos one time about how I don't think it's cool. You have thousands of videos. I don't care if you've made 500 videos about comments. You take the situation at hand for what it is at face value. And if I approach you and say, look, this is bothering me, say something to your followers, and you don't go back to that video and help stop some of the that's on you. That's your character. You want to talk about my character?
Judging by the 70,000 dislikes on the response video, it's safe to say it wasn't received well from viewers. But that didn't stop him from including Charlie's name in several other videos. Penguinz0 and Mr. Beast ruined me, eating like Penguinz0 critical for 24 hours, and Penguinz0's brainwashed fans won't stop. However, one good thing did come out of this situation, as Nico actually lost some weight following his interaction with Charlie.
And now I've recently learned that Nikocado Avocado Colorado has been actively losing weight. He posted a new video kind of briefly going over how much weight he's lost, which he claims is roughly around 89 pounds, and I think that is incredible. The weight announcement does come during a pizza mukbang, but 89 pounds down and there's a noticeable difference, he's f***ing earned the right to splurge like that. I think that is fantastic.
Unfortunately, that good news wouldn't last for long, as Nico would eventually relapse and gain back the weight that he lost. Falling into a deep downward spiral wasn't something only Nico would experience, as Def Noodle suffered a similar fate after trying to make a fool out of Charlie. Def Noodle's time on YouTube was defined by two things: being a wannabe comedian and not taking important situations seriously, from misrepresenting allegations to poorly covering news stories. This pattern of behavior not only spawned several controversies throughout his career, but also destroyed whatever chances he had at being an actual comedian. The incident that made these controversial tendencies more apparent was the way Def Noodles handled the fallout of his failed Super Roast battle.
You're like my cousin if you were a girl.
Thank you. I bet you cried when you got those tattoos.
I did. I did. Are you from Detroit?
Take a guess.
No. I'm bombing so bad, and I don't give a.
Neither do I, bro. Come on, we in it together, doggy.
The event was plagued by technical issues, poor performances, and bad showmanship, which was only magnified by the fact the whole thing was being streamed to thousands of viewers. During the lead up to the event, Def Noodles had bragged about how much of a game changer it was going to be. However, now that it had fallen flat, the entire online community rightfully made fun of him. A few days after Def Noodles' poorly executed comedy night took place, Charlie decided to add a few roasts in of his own, with a video titled, "I've never seen something this horrible."
An event that he was hosting finally happened, which is this, the Super Roast Battles. It's an event he was hyping up for weeks. He was even trying to goad some YouTubers into coming on to like settle their beef in a roast battle. So he was like gonna charge them 15 bucks in order to come on stage and roast each other. None of them showed up. In fact, almost nobody in general showed up. As you can see, it's not exactly like a sold out stadium here. It's about 10 family and friends. And this was a complete disaster.
While Charlie did cover many of the issues with the event, he would focus more on how Def Noodles was insecure about his skills as a comedian.
I'm not supposed to win. You're supposed to win.
You look like a white trash fly.
You could have gone any way with that. You went with white trash fly?
He's not even like making retorts. He's just feeling insecure now. He's like, you win, please stop, I'm dead. Please, God, stop. Now you're just hurting my feelings. You're fired.
Feeding into that insecurity, Def Noodles focused on the criticism and published a satirical apology to Charlie, which only made things worse.
Well, I am thoroughly disappointed that I dared to put on something together for my fans. I am not a comedian. I'm not even a human. I am just a clump of cells currently existing and spewing raw bullshit that I'm reading directly from a prompter for your entertainment.
Instead of focusing on how he could improve the roast battles in the future, Def Noodles decided it would be a good idea to deflect all criticism and conduct another roast battle.
I will once again produce a super roast battle 2 weeks from now so we can wrong every right that was left unturned. So we can break every cringe record in the history of humanity, so we can murder any possibility of a comedian having any credibility ever again, because as we all know, folks, comedy is perfect.
This decision would not only blind Def Noodles to all other paths improving as a comedian, but also severely damage any future prospects he had in that line of work. However, Def Noodles had more pressing matters to attend, as Charlie would upload a response video to Def Noodles' apology.
Like I said when talking about the event, I don't really know Def Noodles. I don't hate him. I've only seen a couple of things on Twitter where he said or did some bad shit that people were dunking on him for, and I've seen this roast. That's my whole exposure to Def Noodles, so I don't have strong opinions on him.
After analyzing and debunking many of the arguments made in Def Noodles' apology video, Charlie would offer some friendly advice on how not to act in the future.
And I think that's what he's going through at the moment, where he's impulsively responding to things that are kind of non-issues, like me laughing at the roast, or people's response to the roast, or whatever the fuck is going on Twitter, and making a video about it, which is only further hurting him. Which it's like a cycle. And there just has to be this point where you say, like, okay, let me just step back from Twitter, which is the best thing you can ever do, you know, and I'll just, you know, handle it privately, as opposed to making everything a public spectacle, you know? There was drama on Twitter, and I'm just going to sit on it myself. I don't need to make a video talking about it, because if I do, people aren't going to want to hear it and they might not like it.
Sadly, these words would fall on deaf ears, as the second Super Roast battle would have similar issues to the first. Worse still, Def Noodles made the mistake of impulsively attacking one of the only people who could have saved the event, his rival, Salvo Pancakes.
Red Buck! 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 Red Buck!
It's worth remembering that Def Noodles had invited Salvo to the event, and they planned on having an epic roast battle as the main event of the night. Whether due to insecurity or malice, Def Noodles would abandon that plan to seemingly satisfy his ego and regain control of the show after Salvo took the stage. Despite this, Salvo would remind Def Noodles who was really in control.
There'd be nobody in the crowd!
In one foul move, Def Noodles had successfully ruined what was left of his reputation, and to make matters worse, it was live streamed to even more people than the first Super Roast battle, and as a result, there was even more backlash than ever before.
Now, I think no matter what, it's a big overreaction from Def Noodles here. Unless, of course, there was an imminent threat where the guy was on stage talking about he's gonna start throwing hands with everyone in the front row or something, or making, like, legitimate threats to the crowd. Couldn't tell you, but it does seem like a massive overreaction from Def Noodles here. He pushes him from behind and then hides behind his friends to keep the other guy off of him, which I think is pretty lame. If you're gonna start some, you gotta finish that. You know, it's like vegetables, you gotta finish your plate, you can't just take a bite. If you're gonna push this guy and he's ready to respond, now it's on you to employ the knight's honor, you know, the code of conduct. You have started this fight, now it is your time to engage in it. I don't like when someone does that and then immediately hides behind the muscle.
In the months following the event, Def Noodles' career would rapidly self-destruct, as he lost 90% of his viewership, made videos asking his audience to unsubscribe, and eventually wiped all of his social media. The worst part about it was that he would eventually realize his mistake, but it was already too late.
I really do. I give up. It's over. It just really fucked it all up. I was really embarrassed and ashamed to admit it, but I did it. It's all my fault, and I've put myself here.
In Def Noodles' situation, Charlie had to do next to nothing for the career of someone trying to expose him to implode. However, the people attacking Charlie aren't limited to those he makes videos about. Strangely, he could be trying to do the right thing, and people would still try to expose him. In early 2024, Charlie would incorporate a positive element into his regular live streams. Instead of viewers donating to him, Charlie decided to give away various amounts of money to his viewers. All they had to do was fill out a Google form explaining why they needed the money, and Charlie would send the requested amount.
This is Bunny Girl Blitz, asking for 150. Hey Charlie, I have $10 in my account right now and I'm hoping and asking for 150 just to put gas in the car and have some lunches for work till payday. Alright, I got you, Bunny Girl Blitz.
The amounts would range from $50 to a few $100s, and for a while, everyone got what they wanted. Viewers got their requests fulfilled, and Charlie got the chance to help the community that got him the platform that he enjoys today. However, by March 2024, this otherwise wholesome interaction would be spoiled by a few bad apples who assumed there was something more sinister at play.
So it seems like there's people that think me giving away random amounts of money to random viewers on stream is a tax write-off. Do you not know how that shit works? Do you know how tax write-offs work? Because I can't write those off.
After people further echoed this sentiment on Twitter, Charlie decided to address the situation directly.
What I read today is about how the giveaways I do on stream, where I just have viewers fill out a form, tell me how much money they want, what they're using it for, and then I go through randomly, pick people, and then give them that money they requested, is actually a sinister tax write-off. There's actually a lot going on behind the scenes that make this a really bad thing.
Charlie would go on to express how painful the accusations were.
This actually hurts me. I recognize how lucky I got in life, and I just want to do something nice with it. And then to be attacked, I suppose, by multiple people spamming that same kind of shit about how this guy super sucks, he's actually just doing this for a tax write-off, wake up, sheep. It's infuriating.
And later disprove them.
You can Google this information, and within the first 4 results get the official response. Can you write off donations to individuals as some kind of charity tax deduction? The answer is a resounding fucking no. Gifts to individuals are not deductible. Only qualified organizations are eligible to receive tax-deductible contributions.
Even after Charlie clearly explained his situation, there were still those who were desperate to believe there was some malicious element to the stream giveaways. With a tweet reading, "He's 100% doing it for the tax write-off, and it's something that's dumb to even really deny." Looking back on the creators that tried to expose Charlie, one key theme becomes apparent. They did more harm to their own reputation than Charlie ever could. Whether it be the need to prolong controversy for views or desire to be right, these individuals unwittingly destroyed their careers, and all Charlie did was watch and laugh. Recently, Dr. Disrespect completely destroyed his entire reputation. Click the video on screen to find out more.